Good morning. Thanks for having me today. I know you were inquiring about what a public information officer does. My name is Jessica Johnson. I am the Public Information Officer for Metro Medical Services. Describing my role as a Public Information Officer is simply, basically I'm a liaison for the EMS agency or organization and the public or government entity that we work with. Basically, we're there to release information to the public, basically keeping them in the know for information and different public events. If there is an emergency that is happening or ongoing that needs to, we need to get information out there to the public for an emergency situation, emergency preparedness, that type of thing. Why is this role helpful? Basically, with the due to the emergency natures that agencies face, you want that key person in charge. If you have too many people trying to pass on information, it's kind of like that. Remember back in the day that game of telephone where one person starts and passes on the information from person to person to person, and then by the time you get to the end of the line, the information is all changed and it isn't. The story is totally different than where you started. So it's good to have that one key person so that way the information stays consistent. We do have policies for handling media requests. Those policies are in place for consistency. If someone wants to request information from us, we ask that they do it in writing, whether it be via fax, email. They can telephone us, but then we have actually a form that they can fill out. It's important that we stay consistent with keeping patient information confidential. There are certain details that we can share with the community and certain details that we can't. For instance, if we're dealing with a tragic situation with a patient or patient's family, we have to make sure that we keep that information, whether it be names, family members, keep that confidential. While we can give some details to the public, we have to make sure that personal information isn't shared so that we don't violate those HIPAA rights. It's important to have that public information officer to act as a liaison, especially when you're dealing with media, you're dealing with journalists. You know, these journalists, they want to make sure that they have that hot story. They want to make sure that they're in the know. However, we have to be very careful. The main advice that I have for journalists is this. While you're looking for that juicy story, keep in mind that as a public information officer, I'm very well aware of keeping the public informed of what they need to know, but I'm also trying to be very cautious and conscientious on making sure that patients' rights and patients' information is protected. So while I will be a liaison for you and make sure that you have all the information that you need to help report to the public, I'm also going to be very protective of my patient and patients' families, as well as my fellow employees and emergency personnel. So my advice is to, as long as you cooperate with me, I'll cooperate with you, and we'll get the information to where it needs to go. So that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, you'll see my contact information at the end. Thanks so much and have a great day.